Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Brother brothers coming back at y'all. Will another edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem and Yahweh Shai. As always, before we start this lesson, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chapadash.
double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, the teachers. Shalom to you brothers across the four winds. This earth pushing this truth on righteousness and sincerity. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to you sincere Akim wa Akwab, giving all diligence and your calling to shore in these last days.
Water boy, Shalom to all you
Shalom.
Akim, Rock, you brothers and you sisters that subscribe to this doctrine. I was given to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto you and your households. And ultimately, we're laying back on, how that one body is Satan, man. They ultimately pointing out the fact that, which they have been, they're pointing out that, that Yahweh Shai was doing witchcraft. Now they're pointing out the fact that, Moses was doing witchcraft, which we all, brothers are going into, through the scriptures, man, through the words of Yahweh Shai. It was all false, man. Everything that, that was done as far as miracles that were done in the scriptures, starting with Yahweh Shai down to, the prophets and apostles and so on and so forth, within the scriptures, it was all done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, but there is a balance. There's a balance to it. All these things were done in as far as miracles were done on the right hand side of the heavenly Father. There's also left hand side works that which we're ultimately going to touch on. Esau, Edom, all the works that he does is through the left hand side of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Right, which ultimately is what witchcraft, sorcery, magic, so to speak, man. But that's what we're going to get into. Is Esau, Edom, he's the true witch, he's the true warlock, that these groups are not talking about, man. They want to talk negatively, about Great Millstone. They want to talk negatively about, Yahweh Shai and the apostles and so on and so forth. If they don't want to talk bad about Esau, man, they want to tell our people that they're Israelites, and that's all good and dandy. That's all for doing the glory of Yahweh Shai to a degree. Hey, but they don't want to talk bad about Esau, man, which has a lot of brothers thinking that they took a bag, man. But nonetheless, we're getting back into the point. We're going to talk about how Esau, he's the true witch, man. And that fucking, what is that fucking so-called elder of the one body, one body in Satan, he said, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." Okay, well that's true, but that wasn't talking about Moses, talking about those that do witchcraft, those that do enchantments and sorcery and so on and so forth, man. And in this time to talk about Esau, Edom, but we're gonna go through the scriptures, man. So we'll start at Isaiah the 47th chapter, verse 1.
Come, this is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1.
Right.
It reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
Right, and that in Babylon is talking about who? It's talking about America, man. America is that virgin daughter of Babylon. Because America is a land that has never had war on its soil. America is ultimately a virgin. And here soon, America's cherry is going to get popped, man. There's going to be war, civil war. In that World War III is going to touch here in America by way of those ICBM nuclear missiles, man. And that destruction is coming to America, man. Go ahead.
"Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. Thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate."
Right. Ultimately, America's power is waning. America doesn't have, that hold, as far as, America being that power, over the nations anymore, man. America's been using, its witchcraft, its sorcery, its deception, to have ultimately these nations believing that it's some superpower, when in reality, America ain't shit, man. That's what these nations are ultimately figuring out. And again, it's happening by way of, the Lord Yahweh Shai speaking through, his men, revealing these things. Keep going.
Verse 2, "Take the millstones and grind meal,
Right.
Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen.
Right, man. And that's exactly what's going on, man. You know, again, through the men of the Lord, you know, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, through His Word, you know, Esau Edom's, you know, shame is being uncovered, man. You know, you got all these things of, you know, what Esau Edom has been doing to our people, you know, and how Esau Edom has been deceiving the nations and so on and so forth. All that evidence is coming abroad, man. You know, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today too. You know, revealing that Esau Edom's powers are ultimately nothing but deception, man, and they have a limit to it. You know, Esau Edom's, you know, quote unquote power is yes, it comes from the left hand side of the Lord Yahweh Shai, but ultimately the Lord Yahweh Shai, like it says in Job the 14th chapter, He gave him bounds that he cannot pass. So his power is limited. You know, just like his rule is limited, right? So let's go ahead and finish that last little bit.
It reads, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
Right, that last one part also going to see how should I come, you know, in that angelic force and destroying them, right? But nonetheless, it will, you know, going back to the beginning of that, the first, the second, and third verse, you know, we're revealing, you know, Esau Edom as being that witch, you know, as being that, because ultimately what witchcraft is, you know, which we're about to go into, it's nothing but deception. You know, it's nothing but, you know, magic. You know, you got that, you know, you got these magicians that are here, you know, they do a little sleight of hand, or, you know what I mean? You got these little magic tools and this, that, and the third, you know, but to the average person, it's impossible to figure it out. You know, but to a magician, you just got to do this little trick, little thing here, little that, this, that, and the third, and you find it out. You know, so you can figure it out. You know, you just have to know the trick. You know, you have to know, you know, the deceptive movement in order to figure it out, man. That's exactly what it is, man. You know, it's nothing but deception. You know, and that's what Esau Edom does, man. You know, but these niggas want to call, you know, the work of the Lord Yahweh Shai, you know, witchcraft. But they can't. Nobody can figure out how it happens. It just happens, man. You know. So let's actually, you know what? Let's go to let's just jump to Exodus. You know, because again, I want to go back into the time of, you know, because they were again going back to talking about Moses, man. Moses, Lord Yahweh Shai used Aaron to do these miracles, man. You know, you started chapter 7 and verse 8. You know, prove this is proof that the Lord Yahweh Shai was ultimately the one that was giving them the power to do these things. Whereas, you know, you read in the scriptures, Pharaoh is about to bring out his sorcerers, Egyptians, and so on and so forth, and wise men, you know, and they weren't given power by no God. They just did these things, you know. But again, they have a limit, whereas the Lord Yahweh Shai does not have a limit. Right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 7, and verse 8. And it reads, and the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, show a miracle before you. Then thou shalt say unto Aaron, take thy rod and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent.
Right, again, proving that it was by the power, you know, of Yahweh Shai that this thing happened, right? You know, they were ultimately doing what they were commanded. You know, go ahead.
Verse 11. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers, now the magicians of Egypt. They also did in like manner with their enchantments.
Right, and you go into that word, you know, the sorcery. It goes into witchcraft, man. And so these are witches and warlocks that came and did these quote unquote miracles, when in reality the only miracle that was done was by Moses and Aaron through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, man. You know, because yes, they were able to turn their staffs into serpents as well. You know, but as we're gonna read, what happened? you know, the Aaron's serpent, you know, basically, matter of fact, we'll just read it. Go ahead.
Verse 11, it reads, then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers and the magicians of Egypt. They also did in like manner with their enchantments. They cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rods swallowed up their rods.
Showing you that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai's power is greater than theirs, man. You know, because it's you can't beat Yahweh Shai, man. You know, he allowed them to you know, because again, you know, when we go into, matter of fact, who grabbed that word witchcraft, I think it is. No, going in the no, it's witch on the online etymology. You go into witch because again, the sorcerers, you know, which sorcery also goes into magic, right? So sorcerers, magicians, or magicians, you know, and so on and so forth. They're in with their enchantments, and that all goes back into you know, witches and warlocks doing, you know, these things, right? We go into witch. Right. Yeah, literally. Yeah, you can just read that right there. And so this is on the online etymology, what it says about a witch. All right, go ahead.
It says female magician, sorceress.
Right, which ultimately the male counterpart of that would be what? Warlock. Right, go ahead.
In later use, especially a woman supposed to have dealings with the devil or evil spirits.
Right, evil spirits, go ahead.
And to be able, by their cooperation, to perform supernatural acts.
Right, by their cooperation. So by performing sacrifices to these evil spirits and doing what they are ultimately told to do. Right, that's that left hand, you know, that left hand counsel, that left hand. It's like a witchcraft, man. You know. That's exactly what it is, man. We're reading about it, man. The pharaohs, magicians, and sort and everything like that were able, through the left hand side of the Lord Yahweh Shah, able to do these things, man. You know, and again, you know, to you know, you good, bro. Hey, the brother's not feeling too well, man. You know, bear with the brother, man. You know, pray for the brother, man. You know, but yeah, you know, so they, you know, to a certain degree, you know, little small, you know, little things they were able to do, you know. And there's a limit, man. Keep going.
Exodus.
No, yeah, Exodus, like it.
Exodus.
I think we're at verse 13.
Exodus chapter 7, verse 13. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said.
Right, you know, showing you right there, man. And the Lord Yahweh Shai's power to, you know, show all these things, but still harden your heart, man. You know, it's more than just, you know, doing small works like turning a staff into a damn serpent, man. You know, his power is from everlasting to everlasting, man. You know, so it's like, come on, man. You know, go ahead.
Verse 14, select it reads, and the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuseth to let the people go.
Mm-hmm.
Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out into the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's brink, against he come, and the rod which was turned to a serpent shalt thou take in thine hand. And thou shalt say unto him, the Lord Yahweh of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear. Thus saith the Lord, and this thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Behold, I will smite the rod that is in my hand upon the waters which are in the river, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish that is in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Egyptians shall loathe to drink of the water of the river. And the Lord spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, that take thy rod and stretch out thy hand upon the waters of Egypt, upon the streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and upon all their pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood throughout all the land of Egypt, both in vessels of wood and in vessels of stone. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded. And he lifted up the rod and smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh, and in the sight of his servants. All the waters that were in the river were turned to blood.
Right, man. So they did a great act, man. And if you look at, you know, from the serpent to all the waters, all the drinking wells and so on and so forth that were in the land. Hey, the acts got greater and greater, and they just kept getting greater and greater and greater, right? Like, like I said, there's a limit to Esau Edom's, because as we're reading this, it's talking about the ancient Egyptians. Hey, well, we're in modern Egypt, man. We're in modern Egypt. The brother read it. I think it's in Revelation where it talks about this. In Revelation, the 11th chapter. That this land is, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So we're in modern day Egypt. The spiritual Egypt, right? So yes, there are certain things that Esau Edom has been able to do. With his left hand side, counsel, his witchcrafting, his left hand side priesthood, man. Because we're the right hand priesthood of the Lord Yahweh Shah. Esau Edom and his priests are the left hand side priesthood of Yahweh Shah, man. But they have limits, man. They have limits. The power of the Lord Yahweh Shah, the right hand, has no limits, man. It's indefinite, You got precept? Yeah, but take time. But yeah, man. It's like again, I think it's the Sirach, the 43rd chapter, where it talks about, Sirach, the 43rd chapter, where it talks about the Lord Yahweh Shah from everlasting to everlasting, And how do you measure that, man? How do you measure everlasting to everlasting, man? That's the power and the mercy of Yahweh Shai, because as scriptures say in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, the 18th verse, it says, as his majesty is, which is power, so is his mercy. And so his mercy and his power are from everlasting to everlasting, man. We know the Lord Yahweh Shai is great, Yahweh Shai is above all everything, man. Yahweh Shai created all things, man.
Looking forward, this one's good too.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Psalm 147 verse 5. Great is our Lord and of great power.
Yeah.
His understanding is infinite.
His understanding is infinite, man.
Great power, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's heavy.
Yeah, that's really heavy, man. We'll go back to this.
Yeah. Just finish up the rest of this. Basically, this chapter.
Verse 22. Yeah, Exodus chapter 7 and verse 22. And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened.
Actually, the verse from
It reads, and the fish that was in the river died, and the river stunk, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. And there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt.
Right.
And the magicians of Egypt did so with their enchantments, and Pharaoh's heart was hardened, neither did he hearken unto them as the Lord had said.
Right. So, hey, just as Lord Yahweh Shai kept doing greater and greater miracles. Hey, guess what? His magicians and sorcerers and stuff like that were able to do them. But again, there's going to come a limit. It's going to hit a certain point, which we're about to grab after we finish this chapter. It's in the next chapter that there's a limit that they can't do it. And at that point, it's like, okay, this is the Most High. It's undeniable. Keep going.
It reads, verse 3, and Pharaoh turned and went into his house. Neither did he set his heart to this also.
Right, just basically ignored it, like, you ain't showing me nothing new. Go ahead.
And all the Egyptians digged round about the river for water to drink. They could not drink of the water of the river. And 7 days were fulfilled after the Lord had smitten the river.
Right, so they trying to find some water, man. And you can read going to the 8th chapter. There's more miracles that, like I said, they kept getting greater and greater and greater. The Lord Yahweh was showing his power, right? But Pharaoh's Egyptians and stuff like that, they were trying to do the same thing, and to a certain degree, they were able to do the same thing. But again, there came the limit. Exodus 8 started 16.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 8, and verse 16. And the Lord said unto Moses, saying to Aaron, Stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land that it may become rice throughout all the land of Egypt. And it did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became rice. In man and in beast, all the dust of the land became rice throughout all the land of Egypt.
Right, man. And as a matter of fact, can you go in the blue letter and grab that word lice? You know, because hey, that's not something to play with, man. That shit is nothing to play with, man. You know, so let's grab that word real quick and we'll go into the proper knowledge of what that is. Bear with us about the show.
It says gnats swarm.
Yeah, man.
Gnats.
Let's go on that etymology. Let's get that.
For gnats. Lice.
No, yeah, lice. Going all that etymology. They literally have that word up there, yeah. It's crazy. It's insane, man. Yeah, but I mean, the only thing that, you know, in the online etymology says gnats, man. You know? Turning the dust of the earth into, you know, basically little mini, I don't know if those, you know, y'all know what the fucking gnat is. You know, it's basically a little, you know, at least, you know, my understanding is a fucking,
Look up gnats.
yeah, sort of, yeah, man, like a fly, but they're smaller. They're a lot smaller, man. Yeah, hell yeah, man. They always are in your face. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. That's basically what that is, man. You know. So let's go back. Here it says right here too. Flies.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Go ahead. You read verse 18. Because ultimately, again, you know, going back to verse 16, 17, they smited the dust of the earth and it turned into what? It turned into lice, which is gnats. Go ahead, verse 18.
Verse 18. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice. They could not.
Right. So again, their so-called power, you know, their power had a limit, man. You know, and they weren't able to do, you know, what the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua was able to do. Now we already went into, you know, sorcery. Sorcery is what, man? It's sort of magic, but it's also witchcraft, which then, you know, you want to say that, you know, this is proof that what Moses was doing wasn't witchcraft, you know, because again, witchcraft has a limit. It has, you know, it has a boundary, you know. And with the Lord Yahweh Hashem, the works of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai have no limit, have no boundary, you know. His power is great, you know. These motherfuckers obviously don't read Exodus. You know, this is only in the 8th fucking chapter. It's not hard, man. It's not hard, man. All you gotta do is fucking read, man, and look fucking words up, man. You know, you stupid motherfuckers, man. You can read verse 18 again.
Exodus 8:18. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice. They could not.
They could not, man. Couldn't do it. You know, it's funny, man, because these motherfuckers is simple, man. It's real simple, man. It's not hard.
Yeah, man.
You know, it shows you the ignorance. Like it says, man, my people are sawdust children, man.
Yeah.
You know, stupid, man.
How you gonna go and say something like that? Like literally, the scripture showing you that Pharaoh and his men were using magic and witchcraft.
Right.
But Moses and Aaron were going in the spirit of God, Yahweh side.
Right.
Then you're gonna say they're doing witchcraft, man. You know, it's just,
and you know, we've already made a video on this, man. But it's like, you know, come on, man. You know, this is more proof, man. But ultimately, you know, what we're going into, you know, Esau, Edom, you know, being that witch. Because again, this not only applies to, you know, ancient Egypt, but it applies to today. You know, because we're over here doing the works of Yahweh Yahushai. You know, in the name of Yahweh Yahushai. You know, speaking these things. You know, and saying that these things are going to come to pass, and they come to pass. Esau Edom is trying to, you know, trying to do some of these things, you know, like heal and so on and so forth, like the apostles and disciples and so on and so forth were, you know, in ancient times, but they can only do so much, man. You know what I mean? You can go ahead and read that verse 19, and that'll be it on that.
19, and read, then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is a finger of the Most High.
Right, so they acknowledge, like, shit, we can't do that. This is the Most High that did that. You know, we have limitations. He don't. You know, so they acknowledge that, man. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them as the Lord had said.
Right, so no, yeah, that's that pride, man. You know, which again, the Pharaoh is modern day Pharaoh is who? It's fucking Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, man. You know, and they have their left hand side. Hey, well, fucking the Pope, man. Hey, when you go into the, what is it? I think it's the fucking. Can you grab what is that? When you walk in, it looks like a serpent.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? That fucking Pope's yeah. Let's try to bring that up. As Esau's devices, man, they suck, man. Yeah. Show that to the camera. You know, because that's man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Serpent, man. You know, scriptures talk about, you know, the serpent was more subtle than any beast. I mean, it's crafty, right? Deceptive. You know, that's all it is. It was just like a fucking snake, man. You know, that's the fucking Pope's, you know, fucking called church, man.
they did that on purpose too.
Hell yeah, because they know that they are the serpent. They know that they are the serpent. And again, the serpent, like it says in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, the serpent was more subtle than any beast. You go into that word subtle, it goes into crafty. You go into the word crafty, it goes into what? Shrewdness, as being demonstrated as what? Deception. So Esau Edom is nothing but a fucking deceiver, man. He wants you to think that he has because again, he has that God complex, right? He wants you to think that he is God, but he's not God, man. That's that fucking pride, man. That's Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man through and fucking through, man. You know? Just like fucking Pharaoh's heart, well, his mind was hardened, saying, nah, man, you know, we can do that. Nah, you know, I'm still greater. Nah, I'm still, you know, we still got more power, this, that, and the third. You know, that's Esau Edom, man. You know, was that 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, you know? That's Esau Edom, man. You know, and again, you know, these things the things that we read about, you know, Esau Edom, you know, or the Egyptians in the 7th and 8th chapter, you know, were you know, using, or the Pharaoh was using his magicians and sorcerers and so on and so forth, basically doing witchcraft. And Esau Edom's doing witchcraft now, man. You know, and they're going to be destroyed for that, because we go, what is it, Exodus 20, 20:18 or 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. You got it?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Exodus 22 and 18.
22 and 18.
And Read, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Right, man. We know that Esau, because again, the things that we were reading, that was ancient Egypt, were in modern day Egypt, man. You know, which is America. You know, and you're not just as Pharaoh and his men were destroyed back then. And guess what? The modern day Egypt is going to be destroyed again. You know, by Yahweh Shai. You know, and how he has set it up to be destroyed, man. You know, which is by ICBM nuclear missiles, and Yahweh Shai coming in those chariots and tearing this place asunder, man. You know, that's what's going to happen, man. The Lord Yahweh Shai is not going to suffer this damn devil to establish his NWO and live forever. It's not going to happen, man. You know, Job the 14th chapter, we quoted it earlier. He has he has given him vows that he cannot pass, man. You know, and we know Esau here has been living, constantly living by his sorceries, man. You know, you got a precept. Can we go back to Isaiah? Matter of fact, I'll read it. This is Isaiah 47, and I'll jump to verse 8. It says, "Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children." That's going back, the pride of Pharaoh. He hardened his heart. And that's Esau. This is proving that he has pride, saying, no, ain't nobody going to take me out. You know? Moses was constantly warning him, hey, let the children of Israel go, or the Lord's going to, ultimately, bring more plagues upon you, man. You know? And that's what we were going through. We were going through all those plagues, which there were 10 plagues. The last plague being that death angel, right? Which 10 is a number of completion. You know what I mean? So he brought that after, so many times. He said, you know what? I'm going to completely destroy you. You know? That's, I'm going to bring you down. And that's exactly what's going on here, man. All these things are happening, and it's starting economically, socially, and so on and so forth. And it's going to come to the point where the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to completely destroy this place, man. Just like he completely destroyed ancient Egypt, man. That's how it's going. And just as Pharaoh's heart was hardened back then, not thinking that any of that destruction was going to come upon him, hey, guess what, man? Edom's heart is hardened now, not thinking that destruction is going to come upon him, man. Yeah, go ahead, we'll bring it up.
Obadiah, verse 3. "It reads, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock."
That's Esau here, man. Come on, man.
"Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?"
Right, man. Come on, man. We're in the time. We're in the modern day Egypt, man. Esau has that mentality, but the Lord Yahweh Shai will bring him down, man. That goes right into the next verse, verse 9. Isaiah 47 and verse 9 says, "But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for thy great abundance of thine enchantments." Hey, so we read it's in the law that a witch shall not live. A witch is to be put to death. And because of thy witchcraft, sorcery is witchcraft, the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to take this place down, man. So, hey, come on, the Lord Yahweh Shai. Hey, the laws are not done away with, man. The laws are not done away with. The Lord Yahweh Shai is coming still, even when Yahweh Shai comes to execute the law, man.
Like it says, righteousness will be judged.
Right, man.
According to the law, man. That's why I said, "Many shall perish in this life."
That's right, man.
Which is his word in its entirety, because his commandments all throughout the book.
That's heavy, man. That's real heavy, man. He's coming to execute one of his commandments. It said, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." And Esau, starting with the elites, they're the biggest witches and warlocks, man.
Yeah.
And they're going to be put to death, man.
That's why, hey, man, you Jakes out there that follow after your oppression, man, even the same judgment is him.
That's right.
Same judgment in that lake of fire.
Verse 10, Isaiah 47 and verse 10, it says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me." Right? It says, "For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness." And because ultimately witchcraft, sorcery, and magic is wickedness, man. And you've trusted in that, man. You know, and but ultimately that sorcery, you know, all that you know, your left hand side counsel is failing you, man. it's failing you. Can we grab the Isaiah 19 verse 3? You know, it's failing you, man. You know, and we're seeing that Esau Edom is not able to continue to deceive the people, you know, to say that he's some great power or that he's able to do these miracles. We're at his end where he's reached his limit, you know. He's reached his limit and he's not able to go, he's not able to continue to do and continue to see, because that's what it is, man. You know, Esau Edom needs his this left-hand side counsel, you know, to continue to do, you know, to deceive these people. He needs his witchcraft. He needs his left-hand side counsel to continue to do his witchcraft, to continue to deceive. But it's failing him, man. Go ahead.
Verse 3, you said?
Isaiah 19:3, yeah.
Isaiah 19 and verse 3. The reason the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof.
Right, and it's failing right now, man. You're seeing it, you know. Go ahead.
And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
Right, and it's not working. You know, Esau Edom is like, oh, fuck. You know, like, damn, Jake is waking up. You know, these nations are waking up. This, that, and the third is happening. Our economies, you know, what the hell? You know, yeah, fuck. You know, like, fuck. You know, you try to figure it out. You try to figure it out. You try to figure it out. And if every one of y'all can't figure it out, I'm going to kill y'all and give me some new witches and warlocks and sorcerers and this, that, and the third. And then once they can't figure it out either, I'm going to kill them and get some more. So y'all better figure it out. And they're sitting there like, what the fuck do we do? Because they can't figure it out. They're at the point of, this is the work of the Lord. And they know that. They know that. Esau Edom don't pray to no damn, you know, so-called white Jesus. You know, they don't pray. They pray to the Most High, man. You know, and the brother Tazabah and from the GMX Phoenix camp was talking about that, man. You know, and when tourists go over to Israel, you know, they have two sides to Israel, man. They got the dark side, you know, the so-called black side, and then they got the so-called white side. And when tourists come over, they shut off the lights to the so-called black side and guide them over to the so-called white side to keep them deceived, man. You know, and praising the so-called white, you know, the so-called white Jesus and the so-called white man, you know. But when they leave, what do? They shut off the lights to the so-called white side, and turn the lights on to the so-called black side and praise the so-called black man. Really, which is Yahweh Shai, man. They know the true names. Start with the elites. They know the true names. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. That's what they pray to, man.
Yeah, a quick example from that movie with Richard Pryor. I don't remember the name of it, but
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Richard Pryor, was an Israelite, and he was like an archaeologist. It was like a skit.
Yeah. No. It was a whole movie.
Oh, it was a movie. Oh, okay, kind of. In that movie, he with these other white archaeologists, they opened up this tomb. They had it pried open. They got in there. And there's all these different artifacts. And there's the word of life from the Bible. Pretty much, Richard Pryor was reading it. He's reading about everybody in there was black and all this stuff. And I can't wait to take this back to our people, man. It's the greatest news of all time. You know, and the white archaeologists walked out secretly, and they're like, "Yep, there's nothing here. Let's just destroy it."
Yeah.
You know, so these devils know, man.
Yeah.
You know, they just try to cover everything up. That's what that word deceit goes into, man.
That's right.
Conceal the truth.
That's right.
See, that's exactly what they do.
To misrepresent and to conceal the truth. That's exactly right, bro. You know, but that's what these damn devils do, man. You know, and again, the Lord Yahweh Shai, he gave them, you know, a limit. He gave that left-hand side power a limit, you know, and again, we're seeing that limit. You know, Esau Edom isn't able to continue to deceive no more, man. All this truth, you know, all their shame is being uncovered, is being seen, man. Again, through the right-hand side, the right-hand priesthood of the Lord Yahweh Shai, which again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, has no limits, man. You know, because you saw that Moses, he was continuing to do miracles, even after the Egyptians were fucking put to death and destroyed, man. After Pharaoh and his army were completely destroyed, and that plague, the death, Yahweh Shai, the death angel, you know, the destroyer was coming through Egypt, you know, when they were leaving, when they were, you know, doing the Passover and so on and so forth. Even after all that, you know, miracles in the wilderness, you know, so on and so forth. Through Lord Yahweh Shai was continuing to use Moses and Aaron to do miracles, man. Far after Egypt, man. And the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to continue to do miracles far after Egypt, man. Far after modern day Egypt, man. It's going to be a fucking amazing, man. He's going to do miracles in Egypt, and then after Egypt is short, he's continuing to do miracles, man. You know, what you people would call miracles, what we would call salvation, man. You know, that's going to be a miracle. That's why it says, and be amazed at the strangers at their salvation. You know, that's going to be a miracle to you people. It's going to be a miracle to us. You know, hey, but after salvation, everything after that it's going to be miracles to you people, but it's going to be normal to us.
Blessings for us.
Yes, be blessings for us, man.
Right now, we're reaping the punishment of our disobedience, ultimately, living out these curses. Here pretty soon, as it says, all the curses that are brought upon these people are also bring the good that are promised.
Yep.
That's what we're coming into.
And for the sake of time, I just want to read the rest of this chapter, unless we got other precepts or however the Spirit wants to do it. And we'll end it right here. But just go back to Isaiah 47 and 10. It says, for thou, which ultimately this whole chapter goes into Esau, even witchcraft and sorcery and stuff like that, and how he's going to destroy for it. You know? It's Isaiah 47. I'll read verse 10 again. So, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted me. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And that desolation then come by way of what? ICBM nuclear missiles, as well as the chariots coming and burning this place fucking sunder, man. Tearing this fucking place a new one, man. Really destroying this place, making it fucking no more, man. Which we can't fucking wait for, man. Fuck this damn place, man. Fuck America, fuck Babylon, and fuck Esau, man. Fuck all these motherfuckers, man. Y'all motherfuckers can eat a fucking missile, man. You know? It says, verse 12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Because again, Esau Edom has built this queendom, built his whole lifestyle. Esau Edom is about nothing but witchcraft. That's who he is. He can't live without it, man. You know, so hey, scriptures tell you, hey, stand with that shit, man. You want to be about it, stand about it. You know, it is what it is, man. You know, it says, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. And then we know ultimately Esau Edom is not going to prevail. Why? Because we just read in Isaiah the 19th chapter that their counsel is failing them. You know, so if their counsel is failing them, which means their power is failing them. Because that's where their power comes from, is the left-hand side of the Lord Yahweh Shai. So if their counsel is failing them, that means their power is failing them. As we saw or we read, you ultimately, those that have the faith, you ought to be able to see it. You see these things like when we read them. As we saw in Exodus, the 8th chapter, that when it came to a certain point, they weren't able to do those works, man. And again, we're coming to that time where Esau Edom is not going to be able to do those works. And we're really in that time now, you know. It says, verse 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers and monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from the things. Save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. And they can't, right? Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before thee. Right, man? That's Esau Edom's end all be all, man. It's complete fucking destruction. Brother read it, Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to destroy this witch, man. Which again is Esau Edom, man. Starting with the elites on down. You know? That's who the true witch is, man. Esau fucking Edom, man. Babylon. You know? Babylon is a place of witchcraft, man. You know? A place where Esau Edom has made it to where it's okay to do witchcraft. You know? You got all these fucking females being witches and shit like that, man.
Yeah, that's like a trend too for vape. You see that, man. You go to all these different stores. It's always even there with dreads. You know what I'm saying? Doing readings and stuff, man. Tarot cards. This shit's wicked as hell, man. Oh, our people are gone. They're done for, man. That's why Jeremiah was told, don't pray for these people.
Yeah.
See, there's no point in praying for these people. They don't even care about the ways of the Lord, man. Let alone getting rid of what they want to do. So all you need to do is work on yourself, man. See, work on your own salvation.
I just got one more verse and I'll be dead. It says, verse 15, it says, thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander everyone to his quarter, none shall save thee. Right? So there's no saving Babylon, man. There's no saving Esau either. Babylon is going to be destroyed. You Edomites that escape, the judgment that's coming to Babylon, you're going into captivity, and after 1,000 years, you're going to be put to death, man. You're going to receive of your fucking punishment, your judgment, and then you're going to be put to death, man. Because ultimately, again, thou shalt not suffer which to live. You're going to receive your punishment. You're damn sure going to go into captivity. But after that, you're going to be put to death, man. According to the words of Yahweh, Yahushai.
This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. Whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. That's when the time of Noah, and that great flood, that they have the quality of how it brought upon the world of the ungodly, which saved 8 righteous souls, Noah and his family.
That's right.
Right? It reads verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved until fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. See that? If you go into that word reserved, in the Google definition, it says kept specially for a particular purpose or person.
For a person. Wow.
See?
That's you fucking devils, man.
Yeah, and all you wicked jakes, you continue to follow in the ways of this devil.
That's right.
See, the scripture says that he is as death. See? So you follow it in a man that's death. Hey, because the devil has death walking right behind him.
That's right.
So you literally got those death angels following you too. See? Then when Yahushua comes back, he's not gonna wait for you to repent and get right and say, oh, I wish I would have listened to the prophets and say that I trust my enemies. It's too late. Now you're gonna have to reap, of your punishment, man.
That's right.
Especially you damn devils out there, because they watch these videos. You devils are gonna get it real bad. Your kingdom is going down, and then we already seen it crumble, and you know it's crumbling, man. That's why you got those underground bunkers, because you're gonna go in there, man. See, just for the elect men to come down from the chariots of Yahweh Shai, full glory and power to put you in chains.
That's right.
We're probably being put on the top of the hit list right now.
Saying all that shit.
We've gotten away with it too. We're for you Israelites.
Yeah.
We do, Hey, y'all devils can't escape, man. This judgment is written. Like it says to execute upon the judgment written.
That's right.
Going in chains, the kingdom's being destroyed, and y'all are gonna be made fucking small, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Kai, so hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to you. Aki, I'm walk into it. As always, how we do before we end off. We're gonna give all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Belongs to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you, brothers across the four winds of this earth, pushing this truth, all righteousness and sincerity. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to you, sincere Aki and Aqua. Give all diligence to make the calling of like to ensure the last days. We would say, Shalom, Kwam Yasha Allah, and Abba Shalom. Stay strong.